my success, it's the success of the team around me. I'm fortunate enough to have a fantastic board of directors here, a fantastic management and a fantastic workforce, a very diverse workforce and a very committed workforce throughout. So I think as a company we have had many challenges, both outward looking and inward looking. Outward looking insofar as we have still a very challenging shipping and trade industry that we have to deal with and serve. Very competitive, ever more competitive, ever more digitalized, technologically advanced, and we have to keep abreast of that. But also inward looking, we're a company that's come through the last 10 years of perhaps one of the biggest shipping crises in history, and at the end of that we have still a very positive, committed workforce. So we now have to refocus that and refocus on all the opportunities that we see ahead of us. So what can you expect from Columbia? We have the performance optimization control room being rolled out to all of the different offices. We have new services being rolled out. We've set up a procurement platform called GenPro, General Procurement Company, with our partners Bernard Schulter, which will return real value to our clients, not only the best cost, items at the best cost, but also any commissions that surrounding the procurement process go back to clients too. So it's a revolutionary procurement platform. We're setting up a yacht management, or we have set up a yacht management, a super yacht management business. We're developing our cruise business all the time. We are the leading cruise manager, so that's an area we're developing into. We're developing into green recycling and environmental issues, dealing with our environmental issues. These are all services which our clients want and need, but with a one proviso. We're not taking our eye off our core business, which is ship management. It's technical management, it's crew management, it's commercial management. If we get that right, the rest of the business will come to us. We have to focus on those three core services, and everything on top of that is what the clients require. So yes, we will be developing a platform of services. Yes, we'll be leading the charge on digitalization, we think, on performance optimization, but only insofar as it services the core functions of this company, which is full management, technical, crew, commercial. I think our chairman, Captain Cholo, was the first, if not one of the first individuals to come to Cyprus to set up ship management. I think he rescued the shipping register from Famagusta and brought it to Limassol. He actually drove into Famagusta and brought the register out with him as the invasion took place. So he is one of the founding fathers. His commitment to Cyprus since that date has been unquestionable, and it's not in anyone's plans to change our commitment to Cyprus. Why? Why is Cyprus such a fantastic place for us to do business, and why we advocate others doing business? We have the roads, we have the hospitals, we have the schools, we have the law courts, we have everything one could possibly want to do business, and for families to do business, to accompany the business people. Cyprus is a great place to live. We have professional services here that are every bit as good as you find in any of other of the capitals of mainland Europe. The lawyers, the accountants, the IT specialists, which is really, really essential if you want to do business here, that you don't always have to go elsewhere to bring that expertise in. So really market leaders in IT, I would say, and in accountancy here on the island, and business advice. We have a judicial system that is reliable. I come from a legal background. Cyprus was always a judicial system that we totally trusted in and could be relied upon. That's, again, essential from a business perspective. We have first and foremost, and perhaps I should have started with this, a top educated workforce. Women and men who by and large have at least one degree, and sometimes two, and sometimes MAs and PhDs to add to it. It is one of the most highly educated, motivated workforces that I've ever come across in this environment that is extremely good for doing business. So very educated workforce, very committed workforce, and by their nature very proactive and problem solving and positive, which is really important too. So as an environment, really, really good. We have also a government that has, through successive different presidencies, supported industry, supported the recovery within Cyprus. And now we have, as an example of that, the government seeing that shipping is so important to the local economy, dedicating its own sub-ministry or ministry for shipping. And no surprises, who occupies that? A woman, which again sends exactly the right message into a predominantly male-dominated industry. Look, here is a woman, heads up Ministry of Shipping, and that should be a beacon of hope and encouragement for women on the island that they can succeed. And my ambition, certainly, and the ambition of other companies on this island, to see more and more women coming through management, and so that in 1 or 2 or 3 years we have women on the board of a board meeting I've just come from. You know, that's the ambition and that's the goal, and that must be right. And I think Natasha sends exactly the right message in that respect. Mergers mean different things to different people, and what's the definition of merger? It's a convergence or a collaboration, a working together. The present structure is that we have a holding company, Columbia-Marlow, and beneath that the two companies, Marlow Navigation and Columbia, work entirely independently and separately. Why is this important? Because we are in a service industry. We have to service the clients. The clients want the same people doing the same good jobs in the same good way as they previously had. And we are at the moment looking at what form the future cooperation will take. It has to be client-driven. Everything we do from the moment we walk into this door, from the moment we leave, has to be, until the moment we leave, has to be client-focused. We are a service provider. The clients, the market, want the same people doing the self-same things at the moment. Does that mean that we will converge or merge more in the future? Who knows? We haven't yet decided whether that makes commercial sense. Does it mean that there will be a looser cooperation in the future? Quite possibly. At the moment it's a cooperation. There is a merger at the holding company level, but the companies are doing very, very well in accordance with their individual strategies for the moment. Now, what are those strategies? Marlow Navigation essentially is a crew manager. Columbia Shipmanagement is a full management company. They are very, very different strategies for each company, so it's perfectly appropriate, I would say completely appropriate, that those companies pursue separate strategies for the moment until such time as the clients or the market dictates otherwise. But that's the strategy going forward at the moment. Keep the two companies separate, keep the brands separate, and as and when and if there is a reason for closer cooperation, then we'll do that. I think you are seeing, in shipping, as with other industries, you are seeing more and more consolidation. What's driving that consolidation? It's economies of scale. And whether that's on a procurement level, or whether it's on an IT level, or an investment level, or service level, economies of scale is a no-brainer. It's a win-win. However, and we've looked into this on many occasions on different aspects of our businesses. What we can't afford to do is ever lose focus on the individual ship owner client who comes to us, who wants to feel that he or she is getting the self-same service that they always got when we managed 10 vessels or when we managed 20 vessels. The fact of the matter is, collectively now, Columbia-Marlow manage a significant number of vessels. The day we forget about that one ship owner, and that one ship owner feels that he or she is not getting the same attention that they got right at the beginning, is when we lose the advantage of economies of scale. Are we experiencing a growth? I'm not so sure that shipping is out of the recession yet. There is certainly signs of improvement in certain sectors. In other sectors, there's not. And it's always been the case that shipping has been cyclical. In fact, sectors are cyclical. So we're seeing an improvement in the market in the container shipping sector. The tanker sector is at a historical low at the moment. Other sectors are improving. Other sectors are averaging out. So I don't think it's it's correct to say shipping is seeing growth. Certainly trade volumes are increasing, as one would expect, so shipping being the primary source of transport, one would expect shipping to improve. As far as ship management is concerned, we have to be successful, we have to be both relevant to our clients, our market, and compelling. That means that clients who traditionally do management in-house have to see that all of the service that Columbia offers, we can do it cheaper and more efficiently and effectively than they can. And that's relevance. Compelling means they should and have to use us because we can do it better and cheaper than them. So we have to be relevant and compelling. Now what we want to do is actually be realistic and look at the future and where we want to be in that future. How do I see the future? I see much more verticalization, vertical markets coming in, the Amazons and the Alibabas and the big logistics companies owning vertical chains between the seller and the buyer. So the goods are purchased on the internet or email sellers. The haulage companies are owned by those same sellers. The shipping, the trains, etc., to ultimately the delivery to the seller. Those are the vertical markets. They must be controlled to control cost and to ensure efficiency. So there is no doubt in my mind that the Amazons and the Alibabas, they've bought planes, they've bought haulage companies, they've bought trains, they will buy shipping companies. Now we have to ensure that we are sufficiently digitalized to integrate into those markets. They won't want to manage those vessels. We will be there to manage the vessels, but we have to have platforms that are able to digitally communicate to one another and slot in seamlessly and offer a service. So what have we done? We've paired up with Lufthansa, who is our partner in this process, one of the partners I hasten to add, and we've set a digital vision and a digital agenda, which is the first thing you have to do, which takes a hell of a lot of time. Everyone thinks they can digitalize just like this. Of course you can't. Lufthansa will help us on this process, and we have now embarked upon the digitalization path. It is a path, not a journey. There's never going to be an end, because digitalization involves innovation, involves technology, and involves processes. And you have to look at what you do, how you do it, how you can do it better. You have to innovate, and then you digitalize the end product. By the time you've digitalized the end product, you're back to the innovation again. So it's a continuation, it's a continual process, it's a self-improvement process. So we're being realistic, we're not rushing this. We will have our digitalized environment in place probably in the next 2 to 4 years, but alongside that, we will have lots of bells and whistles to ensure that we are ahead of the game. But digitalization is not, as I said, the end. Digitalization is just one of the tools in the optimization toolbox. If we are digitalized, we can optimize our service. We can do things better, we can do more of it better and more cheaply, and that's got to be the goal. Not everybody needs to digitalize, and not everybody needs to digitalize everything. You can spend a fortune digitalizing everything, and some processes don't need to be digitalized. Don't just digitalize for the sake of it, digitalize what needs to be digitalized. So that's important too, to control cost and raise efficiencies. And you really need a well thought out vision and a well thought out agenda before you even get started on this. So big thing, digitalization. It was kind of last year's story. This year's story is optimization, and digitalization is part of that, an important part of it. We have just launched about 2 months ago an I Care philosophy. And I Care looks at our core values, it looks at our policies and our management system, and with a view to these being the drivers and the road to our culture. And certainly, I think something that companies can all too easily do or fall into the trap is take their eye off their culture. And I Care is not only care in relation to caring for the individual care, but it's also caring for one another and caring for the company, ensuring that the company grows. So we invest a lot of time and effort and money in training. And there's no doubt we have some of the leading training institutions around the world. In fact, our Columbia-Marlow training institution in the Philippines is like a university and it's state of the art, but we have similar institutions in Ukraine and elsewhere. So we invest a lot of time and effort and money in crew training, but also in the holistic care for our crew members and our employees. And the I Care philosophy really focuses or refocuses individuals on why they are here, why this is such a great place to work. Why do we have people here for 35, 40 years without leaving? I gave a bunch of flowers to an employee yesterday who'd been here 35 years. I do this every week. It is incredible how long and how loyal the staff are here because of the company culture. So that's really, really important. And if I had to put, give a reason for why we are successful in retention, it is that we really care about our employees, and that comes from the top, Herr Scholler, all the way down. And that's something we really focus on. When looking at the potential of Cyprus, I think Cyprus has everything going for it. I think it has the human capital, it has the companies already here that are growing, it has the political support. Does it have the ambition to be a market leader or just one of the market leaders? We've heard this in the context of Brexit. Well, Cyprus can perform some of the roles that London could perform before, but perhaps as backup. Why are we always talking about backup? Why aren't we looking at Cyprus as a central market for some of these services outside of shipping as well as shipping? There's no doubt that Cyprus could be a centre for financial services, not just a backup for some of those companies that may have to leave London because of Brexit. And I think that's an ambition thing, and Cyprus needs to raise its ambitions in that sense. But I think the government is well behind that, and I think the people have the capacity, capability and ambition to do that. So I think we will get there.